What is up, guys? I just arrived back from the war. Just kidding, I did not. That happened like 6 hours ago. Maybe 7 hours ago. But here are my thoughts and like what I have learned from, this first indoor event that we have did in the club, which I'm thankful for because it's a learning experience and will move the club to a higher position in the hobby with having a fun experience. So, one thing I learned is that the Warsaint, okay, the prime is extremely easy, but there are two concerns with this blaster for the amount of FPS that we are using in the indoor event. One thing is the weight of the blaster, firing it constantly, and like holding it up because you're aiming so much, it's gonna wear you down. Like if you shoot this gun less, shoot this blaster less, it's gonna wear you down less. And like also one thing, because this blaster is ginormous and it weighs a lot. The weight, you're like shooting and moving around a lot. If you're doing that like all the time in like such a like in a half basketball court, it's gonna wear you down. And like I was sweating as shit in there. Like okay, for the first 2 rounds, I was clapping. This thing was perfected. But like 6 rounds in, like third round, fourth round, fifth round in, I was like tired as shit with this thing, So it's like it's my first time with the Warsaint, so of course I'm gonna be tired. But like still though, after like 4 or 5 rounds, I'm gonna be like still like I don't know. It's not good. It's just not good. And with how humongous this thing for 160 FPS, it's such a close quarter. Like, what if you peek this thing out? Like, since it's so huge and like lengthy and like up and down. Since if you're peeking and like peeking across, shooting at the across the field, look how much like this is my cover, really. This wall. Look how much areas, like if there's cover over here, if there's cover over there, if there's cover over there, those are 3 angles where I'm super exposed. Like my half of my body is like exposed out here, so like 3 points of cover, like just like able to aim at me and like shoot me and tag me, which happened a lot after like the second, third, and fifth rounds we did. And also, the thing with this, because it was such an easy prime, I expended basically all of my ammo. So in the first and 2 rounds, 6 mags was not enough. In like the first round, I expended 4 mags. The second round, I like used it up and I had to pick stuff off the ground, and then that is not good. And then for the rest of the rounds, I just had like 3 mags on me the whole time, which is with how much of an easy prime this is, you're gonna obviously shoot it a lot. But with the Seagull, it has a low profile, so you're getting shot at from like from less points. You're less exposed, so you're less likely to get shot. It's easier to be precise with this because you're less worn down from like being exhausted and tired. And also the short prime, and like it's a little bit hard, but like it's more controlled. You can control everything easier on the Seagull for the amount of FPS you're using. The Warsaint is a platform, I think, in my opinion, is just made for like 200 and 250, which is because like for those long distances, like that would be for 200 and 250, you're gonna have a longer distance of like play, so like a bigger field. So in that case, a bigger blaster that is more lengthy and huge, it doesn't really matter when you're that far away from the enemy. They can't really be that precise with a blaster. But when you're that close to when the field is that close and the enemy is like right in front of you, the size of the blaster is a big concern, which affected me a lot in my gameplay. So Warsaint is not really good for low FPS, but I mean, if you're not it's just not good. Okay, don't have a smaller platform which is suitable for that environment. This is like overkill, and like, I mean, of course, like, this was made for low FPS. This was made for high FPS. Like, no wonder why this has a massive plunger tube and this one does not. This blaster was made to be efficient in low FPS. This blaster was made to be efficient in high FPS. And in those FPS ranges, you have different factors you have to be taking into account. How big the field is. And like the cover and the distance between the cover. If you have the same amount of cover for a small field, which is for low FPS, or a big field for high FPS, of course, the Warsaint is gonna exceed in a bigger field. But in a close, like basically CQB type scenario, this is not gonna be good because you're gonna be exposed by like many different points of the field because of how wide and huge this blaster is. The Seagull is made to be small, compact, and expose you less, and also you can use less ammo too. So and like you know, that's really it. That's my analogy. So big blaster that is heavy, not good for FPS. Small blaster, not heavy, it's amazing for low FPS. Like even like also like doing it, also like testing these blasters in like CQB in my house, like like the first thing I noticed is that like moving this thing around, it's heavy, you're gonna get tired. Also, if you're like peeking and like angling the blaster forward, how much of this blaster is exposed is how much you are practically exposed. So the smaller the blaster, the less exposed you are, which should make sense, you know. If it doesn't, I don't know what to tell you, buddy. But like for the Seagull, it's much smaller, and you can really tighten that up. Like, come on, big difference there. So in low FPS, the cover is gonna be closer together, so more opportunities for you getting shot using a big blaster, which allows you to get exposed more. But using a small blaster allows you to be less exposed and shot less, which is what happened. I mean, I got the kills that I wanted. I got a decent KDR, but I still got shot a lot more than usual. But since like, you know, at the end of the day, it was all for testing because our group was like, this is our first indoor event, so it was, you know, everyone was having fun, you know, not really tryharding, but like, what the heck am I yapping about? This video should have been over like 4 minutes ago, but I am just dragging it because I need that views. I need those watch time hours. My life is boring. Yeah. This project's still happening. So like after this first indoor event, I can see how like we can change a lot of things. So everyone learned a lot. Since it's our first indoor event, we learned how to do different play styles. Everyone learned something out of this. So at the end of the day, everyone benefited out of this event. So yeah, like, see you guys next time.